Hey guys, it's me, your favorite country boy, besides any other country boy you might know from Southwest Virginia. That's Southwestern Virginia, not Southwest Virginia. People tend to get that confused, but anyhow, that's not the point. The point, I got a couple points actually to make tonight. One of them is socialism. This push for socialism is more than frightening. Didn't think it would catch on like it did, but I'm watching the news, and it's quite concerning the numbers that Bernie Sanders is able to, draw to his rallies and everything. And I look in the audience, and it's mostly young people. It look to be 30 years old or less in a lot of cases, and for the most part, and I have to believe that's a result of the indoctrination that they've received in high school and college. These liberal socialist professors have not taught them the true history of socialism and what it does to countries, and how they don't realize that capitalism has brought more people out of poverty than any other form of economics. It doesn't make sense to me how they can look at Venezuela and think that couldn't happen here. It absolutely could happen here, and it would happen here. If you want to kill this country quickly, convert it to a socialist country. That'll do it. But I don't think that's going to happen. I believe that there's enough intelligent people, still out there that's not going to allow that to happen. However, it is gaining steam, and that is cause for concern. Socialism has killed so many people. So many people. People are dying right now. They're starving to death in Venezuela right now. Can't get fuel, can't get electricity, can't get water, can't get medicine. But all because of their greedy, greedy elites down there, so to speak. But that's socialism in a nutshell. And I don't want to hear this crap about, Norway and this and that. Norway is a free market society as well. Just has some socialism ideas kind of placed on top. But it's truly a free market system, and even those socialistic programs that they've added on, such as health care for all, is not working out too well. No, it isn't for Canada either. The lines just to see a doctor is outrageous. You have to wait weeks and weeks and weeks to see a doctor. You go to the emergency room and you'll sit in the emergency room for 12, 14 hours before you see a doctor. We have the best health care in the world right here in America. And I agree we need to find ways to get help the poor with getting medical care. I don't have health insurance right now. I'm in between jobs and looking for work. And so I'm not covered with health insurance right now at all. I would really like to grow this channel, but it's kind of hard to do that when you can't afford the equipment to, that I need to do the video editing and things like that. I would love to have a new laptop. Can't afford it. I'm doing good just to get my bills paid right now. But that's a whole nother story. But I do the best I can with what I got to bring, to try to bring y'all some information and try to entertain you at the same time, AOC, I see something interesting that she said at South by Southwest there, and she was talking about how, maybe she had some people say that she's young and doesn't know anything, which is what I think. But and everything. But she talks about how she has ambition and nobody else does have ambition. Everybody else is just like, eh. With every idea she comes up with. Well, the reason they say is because they know it's a stupid idea and they just don't want to hurt your feelings to your face. And that, which some people don't mind hurting their feelings to their face. I mean, don't get me wrong, some of her ideas would be great if it were possible. But the thing is, it is not your money. It is the American people's money. And, you claim to be the boss and we're just screaming from the cheap seats. Yeah, we're screaming from the cheap seats because of the establishment government, takes their money in taxes, and it pays to have kids killed with it, takes it and has kids killed with it. They don't mind to pay a bunch of money out to Planned Parenthood to help kill a bunch of babies, but God forbid we build a border wall to keep drugs and human trafficking out of our country. And I heard this the other day. Well, the drugs are only coming in through the ports of entry. Drugs are only coming in through the ports of entry. No, the only drugs that we're catching coming in are at the ports of entry. The drugs that we don't catch are coming in where there is no port of entry, where there's just open border, which is why Trump needs that border wall, which is why America needs that border wall. It's just so hypocritical, all these celebrities, CEOs, whatnot, that are crying, no, don't build the wall, don't build the wall. Go to their house, see if you can go knock on the door without first having to go through a security gate, because there's a huge wall built around their estate. I mean, if that's not hypocrisy, I don't know what is. Plain and simple. If walls are immoral or walls don't work, why do you have walls around your house? Seems pointless to me. I think I mentioned at the Oscars the other day that all those celebrities that have been railing against Trump and his wall, as they arrived there at the Oscars, they were surrounded by armed guards behind chain link fence, or some might say a wall, to separate them from the fans, the common folk, even the media, some media. The ultimate in hypocrisy. But, there's that, I mean, and not to mention the fact that they, with the Green New Deal, they want to cut back on fossil fuels and this, that, and the other, and yet, usually it's the ones that are hollering to reduce the carbon footprint, they're leaving the biggest ones, Because apparently AOC's too good to ride the subway, so she takes, car services and Ubers. Too good to ride Amtrak, she has to fly back and forth from Washington to D.C. And Washington, D.C. to New York, I'm sorry. Things of that nature. It's just hypocrisy, and her hypocrisy knows no bounds. I don't get it. I mean, they snowball the American people, and they've got these people brainwashed. A lot of these socialist leftists are brainwashed. They don't know the truth on how many people that socialism has killed in Russia and China and And now what's going on in Venezuela, I mean, literally, it's right before their eyes in Venezuela. The results of socialism is right before their eyes in Venezuela. And their only response is, well, that's because it wasn't implemented right. No, what happened in Venezuela is it was implemented right, and that's what happens. That's what socialism leads to. We have done just fine in capitalism in this country. If you're willing to go out and work hard to improve your life will improve. It might take some time, but if you continue to work on bettering yourself every day, eventually it will pay off for you, and you will be a success story in this country. And that is not a racial thing. That's not on race, any kind of race. Doesn't matter what race you are. If you work hard in this country and you push yourself and sell yourself to people and network, you'll make your way up to be successful. Guaranteed. And that's my rant on that, Next thing is social justice warriors getting, outraged, so-called, over every little thing. When you have to dig up stuff on people from 15 years ago and point it out so you can be outraged and go after people's sponsors and things of that nature, that's dirty. It's just dirty. That's nobody. I tend to believe that nobody probably believes the same sort of stuff they believed 15 years ago. I would hope that in 15 years that all of us have matured a little bit in the last 15 years, no matter how old you are. So before you want to go cast stones at people for things of that nature, things that happened 15, 20 years ago, something they said 15, 20 years ago, think of some of the stuff you probably said 15, 20 years ago that you wish people would have forget you ever said it, But it's just craziness out there. They just look and look and look for things to try to get any conservative voice, out of the public discourse at any cost, any way possible. And I'm sure y'all know I'm talking about Tucker Carlson, but it's not just him. It's happened to a lot of conservative voices, and a few liberal voices who haven't embraced the social justice warrior, faction of the Democratic Party. They're embarrassed by them. Take Tim Pool, for example. Tim Pool is a classical liberal. He's more center-left. But he tends to have to make a lot of his videos trashing the far left and the social justice warrior left because of their stupidity and faux outrage, and to go after somebody living now, to try to get them fired now for something that they said, 10, 20 years ago on a shock jock, radio station to beat it all. That's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. This is how people make their money, and you're taking food off not only their table but their kids' mouths. You're taking food out of the kids' mouths, everything, But they don't care. All they care about is the power trip they receive by bullying people, and if they bully somebody enough and bully their sponsors and advertisers, and they get advertisers to pull out of a deal with certain people, like kind of like they did Alex Jones and the other people. You know, they get a power rush out of that. You can't honestly believe that they were truly outraged over what Tucker said 15, 20 years ago, back in 2006. You know, you can't honestly tell me that anybody was offended by that. Now, if it was 2006 and you just heard it, yeah, you might be offended by it. But now people's done moved on with their lives, and people also know that people change. Now, if he would come on his show tomorrow and say something like that, yeah, then you can be outraged about it. Then you can say something. But digging up stuff from the far distant past to hold against somebody to try to get them deplatformed because you don't like their views, you don't like their conservative views, that's just crazy, man. It is sick. It is truly sick. I mean, it's bad when your worldview is so screwed up, and your ideas are so screwed up, and your arguments are so terrible that you have to point out, mistakes from people's ancient past in order to try to score some political points. I mean, that just goes to show you that they don't really have any good policies, and they don't have any they don't have any ammunition for any kind of a debate. They know that their platforms suck, so that the only choice they got is try to demolish any and all right-wing conservatives that they possibly can. I mean, that's the only choice they have. They can't win an election on the merits. They have to resort in trashing the other side for stuff that happened years and years ago that really have nothing to do with today. That's my opinion on that. And finally, I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about here, the last thing I really wanted to talk about here is, well, it's what the Democratic Party is doing to former Trump, employees, administration officials, wanting to subpoena them all to go in front of the House, the House Oversight Committee, and Adam Schiff's, trying to subpoena all these people. Well, they tried Russian collusion for 2 years. It cost a lot of good men their homes, their life savings, and everything, their jobs, their homes, their life savings, everything, just to pay for the legal fees. And it's not over. Being as the Russian collusion is obviously not panning out, and a lot of conservatives, the ones that supported Trump in his campaign and in his administration, who served him in his administration, they finally thought they were going to be in the clear. That finally they realized that there was no Russian collusion, that Donald Trump had been telling the truth the whole time. But no, that's not good enough. And why would it be? I mean, Adam Schiff is getting all this camera time and free publicity just by not letting this thing go. Well, we have proof of Russian collusion. We have proof of Russian collusion suddenly there's no proof of Russian collusion. So what do? Well, we're going to dig into Trump's finances and see if we can't find any crimes there. You're not supposed to investigate a person and hunt for crimes. It's the other way around. You find a crime, then you hunt the person that done it. But yet, Adam Schiff and the other Democrats are seem to be taking joy in bankrupting anybody who had anything to do with Trump in his presidency. Either getting him there or helping him once he was president. And that's not only ridiculous, but it's disgusting. And, pardon my French, but anybody that would do that to someone, talk about, attacking your political opponents, which is what they said that Trump was going to do to Hillary, and what Trump is doing to Hillary. No, that's what Adam Schiff is doing to President Trump. And everybody in Trump's orbit has gotten caught up in it. And Adam Schiff is causing them their houses, their life savings, everything, just to pay for legal fees over something that never happened. But they still got to pay the legal fees to prove that it never happened. But do you think Adam Schiff cares? Hell no. He loves this gravy train of publicity, and CNN, MSNBC are more than happy to stick a microphone and a camera in front of his face 5, 6, 10 times a day. And I swear every time his mouth opens, the bullshit just keeps flying out. I mean, you might as well get your waders on because it's getting deep. He's lying to us, man. He's lying. And I have to believe that if there's any justice in this world, that he's going to get his comeuppance. And I pray for that daily. But most of all, guys, I pray for our president. I pray for God to grant him wisdom in leading this country. There's a lot of evil forces out there that want to destroy this country, and want to divide the country. Mostly want to divide it. That way, it's easier to control. And we need to realize, once again, that we are one people. We are all children of God. We are all made in His image. It's important for us to know that. And so the more we learn that, the better off we're going to be. Because the Democrats and their identity politics are going to keep doing this. Keep dividing you into races, into your race, your sexuality, your income, whatever they can choose to divide you into a certain category, they're going to. Because divided, you're weak and easy to control. United, you're strong. And nobody pushes you around. So we need to unite. Unite against a corrupt government that sees about themselves and not about the American people. It's funny to me how these politicians can go in as, a congressperson and be worth, maybe on average a few $100,000, but by the time they leave Congress, they're all multimillionaires. You only get paid $170,000 a year. So, unless you're making killer trades in the stock market and are the luckiest investors in the world, which, when you have inside information, inside information, you probably will be the quote-unquote luckiest stock trader in the world when you know when you got inside information on what stocks are going to drop, what stocks are going to go up. But that's a whole different video. Just saying. I'm just saying. It's funny to me how, that they're able to walk away from Congress with tens of millions of dollars, making only $176,000 a month. That blows my mind. I mean, nobody's good at saving money like that. You'd absolutely have to save every dollar that you ever made. So what money did you live off of? Just a question. Anyway, that's my rant for tonight. If you like my videos, please, like I said, I am dying to buy a new laptop. I really need your help doing that. Like I said, I'm in between jobs, doing the best I can. I'd really like to bring y'all some higher quality stuff where I can screen share some stuff, interesting stuff I find online, and things of that nature. So if you are so inclined and you're able to, please contribute to my PayPal account. It's paypal.me/RyanEd RYANED 78. And that should, whatever you can spare, would be greatly appreciated, because I want to bring y'all the best content possible. And while, I enjoy talking to you guys like this, and still will, in the future once I do get a laptop, I do have things I'd like to share with you, and it would make for such a better platform for the information that I'm trying to pass along to you. So please, if you got the means, consider donating. I understand if you don't have the means to do that. But one of the best ways you can help my channel is just to like, share, and subscribe too to my channel. I got 33 subscribers right now. Which I appreciate every one of you guys. Every one of you guys I appreciate. I'm trying to grow that though, and one of these days, grow it into something large. I'm willing to put the work in. I just need the equipment to use to put the work in, and maybe even go on trips to work out in the field and bring y'all some news out in the field. That would be wonderful, an idea. That's what, an independent journalist does a lot of times. And I would like to be one of those people. Because, I want the truth to be able to make it to my friends out here in the world, because we all know the mainstream media is not going to do it. Well, again, my name is Ryan Edward Smith. My PayPal is going to be in the description below. It's paypal.me/RYAN78. RYANED 78. I apologize. It'll be in the description below. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.